What's going on, good people? How we doing? How we doing? Let me know if I'm good. Let me know if the vocal is good. Let me know if the video is good. If you can, throw a thumbs up and let me know if I'm good in the chat. It's been a long 2 weeks. Took a little bit of a hiatus so I can watch some of these playoff games, man. Couldn't wait. Couldn't wait to get back. Couldn't wait to get back to talk about this NFC Championship, man. The worst thing that can happen. Two representatives from the NFC East in the NFC Conference Championship. But you know how I feel, though. I always hate the Eagles more than anybody else. So tomorrow, go Commanders. Go Commanders. What's going on, everybody? Hey, how's everybody doing, man? Thank you for letting me know. Ty 2 Vibe in the building. What's going on, bro? Feel like it's been years since the last live. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks, man. I thought about it, but man, I got to watch my football, man, and it was a conflict. Either watch the playoffs and do this. I had to watch the playoffs, man. I love football. I love the New York Giants. I love football too, man. Thank you for letting me know that it sounds good. All right, perfect. So I'm not going to waste any time. Well, actually, I am going to waste a little bit of time because a lot of things have happened since the last time I went live. Obviously, the New York Giants, lost the season finale. We ended up with the third pick overall. We all know that. Coach got fired. Jerome Henderson got fired. What are we doing there? We ended up with a new coach now. Man, Marquand Manuel, guy that we picked up from the Jets. Seems like a pretty good hire. He was part of the Legion of Boom. He coached the secondary during that Legion of Boom stage. Does have some defensive coordinator experience as well with the Atlanta Falcons. So a lot of experience. Coached under a couple of good coaches. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he can fix Tay Banks. I'll say that. Hopefully he can fix Tay Banks. Again, I wasn't happy with the Jerome Henderson firing. I believe it wasn't his fault that the New York Giants were the way they were, but it is what it is. My man Money Mike says it's looking like Shador is a pick. You see it, man. You see it. What was it? I was on Twitter today and I saw the video from the Shrine Bowl practice, and you see Brian Dable dapping up, Shador. Yeah, the writing's on the wall. Guess what, man? The New York Giants don't have a poker face at all because if Shador Sanders is their pick, they're letting everybody knows it already. Everybody knows it, and they're not hiding it at all. They don't have a poker face at all. We'll see what happens. I've been arguing with people back and forth, and again, you guys know me. As far as the quarterbacks go, it's 1A, 1B. I like Shador. I like Cam Ward. 1A, 1B. If you guys are interested in these quarterbacks, man, and it ain't just a Shador Sanders thing. Shout out to Deion Sanders Jr. He got the channel on YouTube, Well Off Media. He got all the background, all the behind the scenes stuff from the practices going up to the Shrine Bowl, private practices with the quarterbacks coach and Shador and Cam Ward. You probably have seen those videos already. But yeah. These guys practice together. They trash talk together, talking about Cam Ward and Shador Sanders, and they seem to have a good brotherhood going on. Friendly fire is what I would say too. They go back and forth. Both of them think that they're better than the other one, and it's a good thing to watch, man. So if you haven't tuned in to Well Off Media, make sure you go ahead and check that channel out. Again, that's Deion Sanders Jr. His channel. You guys got to check that out, man. My man JC said, "What's good, Dash?" Yeah, what's going on, man? It's been a couple of weeks. It felt longer than that, man. I was telling my wife that. I was like, it feels like I've been going for like a month, man. It feels too long, man. But again, I was waiting for a free Friday. We had playoffs and some good playoff games too. Now let's talk about that, man. Because we'll get into more of the Shador and Cam stuff. I want to talk about these matchups tomorrow, man. Now I'm going to ask for some participation tonight. So if you had a choice of what two teams made it to the Super Bowl, not who wins the Super Bowl, what two teams made it to the Super Bowl, I want to know what you guys think, man. Like what would make the best game, or what would you like to see? Let me know in the comment section, man, what you guys would like to see as far as a Super Bowl. Because again, for me, I want to see a rematch of I believe it was Super Bowl 26. I want to see the Commanders and the Bills. I would like to see that. That's where I'm at right now. Shout out to Ronnie in the building. Good evening. At this point, I'll take either one. It's just Cam is better fit, but Shador is media ready. Yeah, and you know what? A lot of people talk about the fit for those two, man. And I'll wait for um, some of these Super Bowl, not predictions, but once they come into the chat. But I'll talk about this really quickly. When I think about the better fit, more athletic, Cam Ward is more athletic. But as far as fitting Dable's system, and I've said this myself, but I thought about it a little bit longer, or a little bit more, I should say. And Dable likes to run the QB powers. I don't think either one of those guys, even though Cam Ward is more athletic than Shador Sanders, I think Dable would need to switch things up if we were to get either one of these guys. You cannot run QB power. These are not those types of quarterbacks for sure. Let the running back stick to running the ball. Hopefully Dable does that. I see a lot of people saying Bills versus Commanders, Commanders Chiefs. I see it. Okay, Washington Bills, Bills Commanders, Bills Commanders. Yeah, my middle son hates the Chiefs, man. He absolutely hates the Chiefs. He doesn't want to see. He doesn't even care. He just don't want the Chiefs in there. But yeah, I like to see the Bills and the Commanders in the Super Bowl. I think that'll be a more action-packed game. I think you might see a 40-something to 40-something game if you get the Commanders and the Bills. Again, it's going to be in the Dome. We'd love to see these two quarterbacks go at it. And I think also, when's the last time we saw a rookie take a team to the Super Bowl? It's been a long time. I can't even remember the last rookie that took his team to the Super Bowl. Now that I'm thinking about it, you guys can go ahead and Google that and let me know who was the last. Like, what comes to my mind is I remember like Dan Marino took the Miami Dolphins to the Super Bowl was his rookie year and never made it back. But I'm trying to think anybody more recently that was a rookie. And I might be just missing somebody, rookie that took their team to the Super Bowl. So I see a lot of people saying, yeah, a lot of people. But I tell you this, I'm not seeing anything that says Eagles though. So shout out to y'all out there. Nobody said the Eagles in any of this. Shout out to my man Chris in the building with the $5 super chat. He said, "What do Eagles fans in a school on Saturday have in common? Both have zero class." That's a good one, Chris. Yeah, we saw it, man. What was it? It was a video of the playoffs. I think when the Eagle fan just was verbally attacking that lady, man, with her husband. And yeah, they're known for it, man. It's nothing new. But I tell you this though, it's going to be interesting. Well, we won't see it and we won't care, but that Washington crowd is not pushovers. They're not pushovers, so it might get a little hostile in the crowd tomorrow for between those Philly and Washington fans for sure, for sure. Ronnie also says Bill Commanders. What's going on, Darnell? Darnell says Commanders Buffalo will be a good one. I think so. Absolutely. I do think so. Shout out to my man Matt with the $4.99 super chat. Said, Dash, my gosh, Shador giant till he ain't. Yo, that's my slogan. That's my slogan. He's the giant. He's the New York Giants quarterback till he ain't. It's that simple to me. That's what my mindset is. Until they turn in that card, or if somebody takes him before the New York Giants get the pick, that's my quarterback. That's how I feel. We don't have any other quarterbacks on the roster. Tommy DeVito is a restricted free agent, so he doesn't really have a contract. We got no quarterbacks right now. Shador Sanders is my quarterback till he ain't. Shout out to Matt. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, a lot of people saying Commanders, Bills. I think so. I said Commanders and Bills win tomorrow. Yeah, I like that matchup against the Commanders versus the Eagles. The Eagles a little beat up. Hurts is a little beat up. I think they said he's going to be playing with a brace on his leg. You could tell he ain't the same Hurts. As much as I hate the Eagles, I got to give props when props is due, but Hurts doesn't look the same. Saquon Barkley, and let me tell you, if another Eagles fan says thank you for Saquon Barkley, I might go crazy. But the truth is what the truth is. Saquon Barkley put the Philadelphia Eagles team in a book bag, put it on his back, and carried them into the NFC Championship for sure. If the Eagles didn't have Saquon Barkley, I don't think they're even in this position that they're in right now. You got the wide receivers that are a little bit disgruntled. You got A.J. Brown reading books on the sideline and stuff like that, and then they try to clean it up. We know what it is, man. It's a little disgruntled over there in Philadelphia. We'll see what happens with that. But I like the way this thing matches up. Again, I don't like talking nicely about other NFC East teams, but I appreciate what Washington did. It gives me hope, too, because they turned everything around in the season. And I'm hoping that the New York Giants can get a quarterback and turn everything around too. So it gives me a little bit of hope, but that's it. Once they make it to the Super Bowl, I don't care. I don't care who wins the Super Bowl. I just don't want the Eagles in it. That's where I'm at right now. But shout out to the Commander fans. If anybody out here or anybody listening right now is a Commander fan, shout out to y'all. Shout out to the Eagles fans. So I ain't gonna be a whole jack, but you know what it is. It is. My man Pablo Vila says, Dash, who you taking round two? It depends on what happens in round one. But I will say this: if things go the way that I wanted to go, and we get the quarterback in round one, I am definitely looking at either the best cornerback that's there or the best defensive lineman that's there with our second round pick. And guess what? A lot of people are talking about the need to try to trade up or give up draft capital to move up to get one of these quarterbacks. But the way that Tennessee is talking and the way that the Cleveland Browns are talking about pot, you might see Travis Hunter go number one, and then we get, our pick of the litter possibly. You might see Abdul Carter go too. And if that happens, we have our pick between Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. And that's where it gets a little bit, a little bit sticky if that happens when you got your absolute choice. When you got your choice. Shout out to my man Rob Zero B in the building. He says Shedeur. Yeah, that's a fact, Rob. That's Mace's voice. Shedeur. No, that's a fact. Shout out to Rob Zero B. If you guys are not following Rob Zero B, make sure you do that. Another Giants content creator putting in that hard work, putting the content out. So shout out to Rob for being in the building. Appreciate you, Rob. My man Koof, man, what's going on, Koof? What's good with you, man? I'm doing good, man. Glad to be back here in the studio and talking to the people. That's for sure. Had to take a little 2-week break, but I'm right back in. I've been doing a lot of work though. I've still been putting out videos. Got a couple mock drafts out right now too. Let me know what you guys think about that if you get a chance to watch those. Let's see what else was going on. Trying to get caught up now. Okay, I'm caught up. My man Fighter's Destiny said, "Get Sexy Dexy some help." That's a fact. Yeah. So back to let me answer the question. So yeah, the best defensive lineman or the best cornerback that's left is probably what I'm looking at in the second round. Walter Nolan is a guy I've been mocking a lot, but a lot of people think that he probably won't be there. You got like Alfred Collins from Texas. He's out there. You got Harmon from Oregon. There's also a guy that's out there. So yeah, Walter Nolan. That would be fantastic if we were able to get the quarterback in round one and get Walter Nolan to pair him up with Dex. That's a great companion to Dexter Lawrence right there. It's a lot of good tackles in this draft, though. You got the kid from Michigan outside of Mason Graham. You got Grant as well with Michigan. It's a lot of guys. Walker from Kentucky. You know what? Walker from Kentucky. It's been a roller coaster for Walker. Down year for him overall. You still can't teach the skill set. 6'6", 350 pounds. Still can move very well. A lot of people are talking about his technique now. We're in this draft period where people are nitpicking. So yeah, he has some tape where it's good. He has some tape that's bad. It's just up, can you coach? Can you get the best out of him when you're coaching them up? That's what I'm saying. R0B says, we getting one of those guys, brother. I feel it, man. Ties are about to. I hope so, man. I think a quarterback is the perfect start. And again, I've been arguing with people for actually it's been like months now when it comes to this Shedeur and this Cam Ward thing. A lot of people don't like Shedeur at all. At all. They think he sucks, he's bad, and then that's when I got to turn it off. Then I can't talk to you if you're going to tell me that he flat out sucks. If you tell me you don't like him or you give me some aspects of his game that you don't like he holds on to the ball too long, fine, I can appreciate that, I can respect that. But when you just say, you know what, he sucks and he's just here because of his father, I'm sorry, no, I can't buy that. I can't do that. I said Phillips from Maryland is a sleeper. Phillips from Maryland, is that I haven't watched too many Maryland games. Phillips from Maryland, is he a D tackle? You telling me somebody I don't know? I have to look him up. So yeah, D tackle and then cornerback, the best cornerback that's left. I was eyeballing Jediah Barron from Texas. He's looking like he's rising up the ranks too. He might go in the first. A guy like Trey Amos from Ole Miss is a guy that's probably going to get drafted in the first too. So D tackle seems like it'd be a nice spot. Maybe Siobhan Revel makes it to the second round for us. 6'4", 6'3", tall, cornerback, everything that you're looking for. He's that guy. I was talking to my man D Kid today about him. He says he's pretty much legit. Shout out to Sal too. Sal told me the kid's legit too. I haven't watched too many East Carolina games, and also he was hurt this season too. Got hurt right before the season started. Missed the entire season. I know he's going to be at the Senior Bowl, but I don't think he's ready to participate yet. So that's one guy. Yes, Pablo. Yeah, Amos is nice. I like Amos a lot. I like him a lot. Okay, so the kid you're talking about, Phillips, is a DT. All right, I appreciate him. I gotta look him up. I'll probably look at him after this. My man Hirsch for real in the building. He says I'm good with either Ward and Sanders. That's how I feel. That's how I feel for sure. That's how I feel. I see. We can't. The title of the video is the AFC NFC Championship. We can't do that. We talking Giants, man. I understand. I should change the whole title of this thing. But no. So we did talk about the Philly game and the Commander game a little bit. I want to talk about this Chiefs game. So now I know everybody said, or the majority of people said, Chiefs, Chiefs Commanders. I'm sorry, Bills Commanders. But I just want to know, as far as what are your chances? What are the Bills' chances against the Chiefs? I actually like the Bills tomorrow. I think that the Chiefs, since the playoffs started, Travis Kelce, he ended up waking up, and now he's playing. But I think the way that the Bills are playing, with the trajectory of Josh Allen this season, he's putting everything on his back right now. He's getting all the touchdowns, he's passing the touchdowns, he's running it in for touchdowns. Josh Allen is on a mission right now. And prior to last week's game, I really thought the Ravens had a chance to get in there. But after seeing the Bills, I think the Bills go to the Super Bowl. I think they can beat the Chiefs for sure. If they can keep Travis Kelce under control, not shut him down, but under control, and get to Mahomes, I think they got a chance. It just depends on who can run the ball. And I hate that when I look at the games tomorrow, you got Kansas City. It's cold in Kansas City. That probably should have been the early game. Try to get as much sunlight and heat as possible, because it's going to be cold out there tomorrow. Cold. Shout out to my man Koof. He said, and also had the two for the re-up with the 2-month membership. He says, move Neil to guard and get a real tackle in there. That's a fact. I'm going to come back to that, Koof. I'm going to come back to that because I did a video. Shout out to the family. Shout out to Shamari Wilson with the $50 super chat. Balling. I appreciate that, family. I appreciate that, big bro. That's a fact. So, Koof, man, you and everybody else knows it. Everybody knows it. Actually, everybody knows it except for the New York Giants. Move Neil to guard yesterday. Not tomorrow, not 3 months from now, not for OTAs. I need to hear that announcement. I need to say, you know what, we're going to work out Neil at guard. I need that to happen. I really, really need that to happen for sure. I need that to happen. And again, shout out to the family with the $50 super chat. Much love and appreciate it. Appreciate it. What's going on, Giant Rebels? I think we get a cornerback in free agency. That's a fact. We definitely buying. That's another thing too. We can talk a little bit about free agency too. I put out a tweet. I said, you know what? I think we buy a cornerback. I think we buy a defensive tackle. I think we buy another edge if we don't bring Azeez Ojulari back. I'm curious to see what happens with that. But I do think that a D tackle, a cornerback are going to be high priority. I would love to get BJ Hill back here. I think he's actually liking Cincinnati a lot since we traded him there. But, money talks. If we can get BJ Hill here to play with Dexter Lawrence, that'd be fantastic. Go ahead, bring him back. And then as far as the cornerback market goes, you got your Various Ward, you got DJ Reed. I like Asante Samuel from the Chargers. There'll be some options out there. But guess what? The New York Giants only got $43 million right now. And after the draft class and getting it to 51 players, I think somebody put out the math. I think they said it goes from $43 to $32 million, and that's not a lot of money. So I expect, and a lot of people expect, a lot of these contracts are on the books right now to get played with, and to try to make some money. I've seen people say we can create almost upwards of $30 million in cap space. We'll see what happens. But I think as soon as we get to the league year, maybe a week before the league year starts, you'll probably hear about some contracts, some players getting extended, or some contracts being converted, some bonus money being made. I think that happens. We'll definitely know that before free agency starts for sure. Rick Hope says, I like the Mississippi quarterback. A lot of people like Jackson Dart. A lot of people do. I like Jackson Dart too. I just don't like him in the first round. I've been arguing with a lot of people. Shout out to Cop Pizzle, man. Cop Pizzle was one guy I was arguing with about the whole Jackson Dart thing, because he liked Jackson Dart too. And again, I got no problems with Jackson Dart. I think Jackson Dart is is a good prospect. He still needs a lot of work too. All these guys need a lot of work, a lot of development to be developed. But again, Jackson Dart, I'm fine with Jackson Dart. He's not a day one guy for me, but if we miss out on one of these top two guys, I wouldn't mind having Jackson Dart day two possibly. You know, nothing against Jackson Dart at all, at all. I said Neil. Neil could be a Pro Bowl caliber left guard. Let me tell you this right now, man. If we move Neil to guard and he turns into a Pro Bowler, I'm going to be happy for him, but I'm also going to be upset because guess what? We're going to have to pay him. And then not only do we have to pay him, why did we wait so long to move him? I would be upset. I would be happy but upset if that happened. I've been happy for him. Happy for him. He's still Alabama Roll Tide. I gave up on Neil at tackle for sure, but if he moved to guard and somehow became a Pro Bowler, I'm giving everybody the side eye because we've been talking about moving him to guard for 2 years now. 2 years. Thunder says negative. Chiefs have home field and refs to their advantage. I don't see Buffalo beating them. They do have the refs. The refs are in the back pocket for sure. You can't sneeze on Patty Mahomes. You can't sneeze on him. You can't look at him too long. They're gonna throw a flag on you. That's how they treat. Is he get that LeBron James treatment? You know that's what he getting. It is what it is. You can't touch him. You can't touch him. Hopefully, man. Hopefully they call it fair though, man. Because we see, especially last week too, a lot of BS calls out there, game changing calls. It's not good. It's not good for football. It's not good for the fans. My man Giant Rebel also says DJ Reed. I had a Jets fan direct message me on Twitter. He said you're not getting DJ Reed. I just hit him with the gift with the sneaky smile. Like we'll see what happens though. We'll see what happens because everybody's fair. Everybody's free game. Everybody's available. Money talks. Money talks. Wait a minute. Let me see if I'm reading this right. I know I. Shout out to Shamari Wilson with another $50 super chat. Let's get Dash to 7K. Let's go. Let's do that, man. That's the next step. And that's the next step. That's the next step. And I appreciate it, family. I really do. I really do appreciate it. That's love, man. That's love for real. That's love for real. Thunder also said I like Dart too. Dart will go round 2. He shouldn't go to round 3 though. Yeah, the quarterbacks get pushed up. We'll see what happens. It all depends. To me, it all depends on when Milroe's name gets called. Milroe got to go through the pro day. He got to go through the combine. I don't know if Milroe's at the Senior Bowl. You know, I don't remember seeing if Milroe's at the Senior Bowl. Because they allow underclassmen at the Senior Bowl now. But I think if Milroe has a fantastic combine and pro day, because he should throw at both. Because right now everybody's looking at Milroe like, he's a specimen. He's an athlete, but can he throw the ball? Does he have accuracy? And I think that he needs to have a big pro day and a big combine showing performance, I should say. Thunder says Neil should have been playing guard. Exactly, definitely waited too long. Yeah, man, it's not rocket science, man. You see what happens. And again, I'm an Alabama fan, and I will tell you guys that when it comes to the Alabama offensive line, it's all guards. It's 4 guards and a center. Ain't no real tackles in Alabama. I'm sorry. When your tackles are 6'7", 330 pounds, that's a guard. 6'5", 320 pounds. Those are guards for the most part. Alabama get the biggest guys out of high school, put them on the offensive line, and play bully ball. But when it comes to the NFL, they don't translate because they're not fast enough. Don't have quick enough feet. And it's not just an Evan Neal problem. You see it down the line. It's a lot of examples with these Alabama tackles, man. They ended up transitioning to guard and being okay, or some of them just don't make it. Some of them. We had, what was it, Fluker, DJ Fluker years ago. He was a tackle at Alabama. As soon as they got him in the NFL, they said, "No, you're a guard," and he played guard, man, and he played guard pretty well. The team, he was all right. Nothing to write home about though. You said no to Dash in round 2. What do you mean no? No to what? No to what? Let me know what you mean, Thunder. Andre, what's going on? He says, yo, Dash, how are you? I'm a Giants fan from Brazil. Oh, shout out to Brazil in the building. You guys are making me feel all special. I got people from Brazil in here. Make sure you hit that like button, man. Let the algorithm know we in the building. But Green, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. I appreciate it. I think that's my first, my first anything from Brazil. So shout out to you, man. Respect. I love it. Oh, you talking about Dart? Okay, no, okay, no, yeah. I mean, listen, quarterbacks get pushed up. We see it all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if now I'm not taking him at 34. That's damn near first rounder. You know what I mean? It just depends. I might, but also if we miss out on the quarterback, you get really, really desperate. Like if we miss out on Shador and Cam Ward, and then somebody takes Milrow in like the 20s, and then you're sitting in the second round, you just might you just might take a second look at Dart. Like, do I pull the trigger now, or do I hold out for maybe the third or fourth round? It becomes tricky then, and then it just how desperate is Joe Shane going to be? Because I know for a fact when it comes to Joe Shane, he is in a desperate mode right now. Pretty much, you got to win games next year. You got that pressure on you. On the hot seat for all the decisions that you make. You're trying to build a competitive team, but you also got to have these wins. So it's not going to be even a true rebuild now because of so much pressure. They're already on the hot seat already. If the New York Giants go into next year and say we lose the first 2 games of the season, they're going to be ready to throw both of those guys out. That's why I should have hit the reset button now, but it is what it is. I can't keep crying over spilled milk. Shamari says, you're just not an Alabama fan, but you have a true Alabama. Now, that's a fact. You already know it. My whole father's side, Alabama. I got farmland out there right now. Passed along. That's a fact. I'm just not Alabama. I got roots down there. For sure. Family still down there. Man, Pablo Vila says round 2 D tackle. That's where I'm at. We're speaking the same language. That's where I'm at. If we don't get our quarterback round 1, yeah, I don't even want to talk about not getting the quarterback in round 1. It makes me upset. Shout out to my man Koof, man, with the $5 super chat. He says, so keeping on defense, Banks did not have a great year, and I wish he did. But what are the chances that he's still a starter next year? He's absolutely going to be a starter next year. They're not going to give up on Banks. If they didn't give up on Evan Neal, they're not giving up on Banks yet. What I would implore Shane Bowen to do is alter his defense. Alter his defense to the strengths of the players that he has right now. He has to have a different role for Banks. Now, if we end up signing somebody and then we end up having a cornerback fall in our laps in the second round and he outplays Banks, that's one thing. But then they're not just going to give up on Banks. So I don't think that happens, Koof. I don't think that happens, Koof, man. And you know what? I think when it comes to Tay Banks, we know what the flaws are. He doesn't get his head around. He doesn't have the best ball skills, but not all cornerbacks got the best ball skills. They're not all Travis Hunters out there. He got to get his head around. But also he has the skill set, man. He's just not putting it together. And hopefully having a sophomore slump light some fire inside of him. So he's preparing. Right now he's not sitting on the beach drinking pina coladas and eating pizza. Hopefully right now he's getting back to work and doing what he needs to do to better himself moving forward. That's what I'm hoping Tay Banks is doing right now, man. I can't tell anybody what to do though. My man was it Atlantic Lions says they saying Diggs should come over here and talk about Stephon Diggs. Yeah, he's coming back. He's coming off of the injury. I did see those rumors, or I think it was PFF that said, that'd be a good target for the New York Giants in free agency. The New York Giants do need a number 2 wide receiver, depending on what happens with Darius Slayton. A lot of people can, have him walking. Some people will bring him back. I'm in the camp of bringing him back for the right price. But Stephon Diggs is intriguing to me because I didn't think about it. I actually thought he still had some years left with the Houston Texans. I wouldn't mind it. I just need to know who my quarterback is going to be because he is a strong personality. And you also have Malik Neighbors in here that's young and a strong personality. Will they mesh? And also, can you get enough balls distributed to keep both of those guys happy? That's my question. And then also, I still don't know what we have in Jalen Hyatt. A lot of people are ready to get rid of Jalen Hyatt. I think Hyatt is still better than a lot of people give him credit for. We're just not concentrating on him. So, but I wouldn't rule out Diggs. I did see that put out by PFF as well. But that's that's something to keep your eye out on too, for sure. What's going on, Tanya? Tanya in the building. What's going on, family? Say hey, 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 what's up? Tell everybody I said hey over there. Kiss the babies for me too. Money Mike says, I don't want Diggs. He a locker room cancer. I mean, I can't argue against that. I can't argue against it. This is a young locker room that we have, a young nucleus of players. Diggs, like I said, Diggs is a strong presence. I might be leaning your way, Money Mike. Listen. And you know what, too? Actually, no, I'm going to leave it alone. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I'm going to leave it alone. I'll leave that for another episode, man. I'll leave it for another episode. Hirsch for real says Slayton and Hyde have more drops than T-Mobile. Okay. All right. Somebody got to step up, man. Somebody, listen, man. I'm not willing to pay Slayton $15 million. I'll say that right now because of it. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Slayton went somewhere else and balled out. Slayton is a good wide receiver. He's just not a wide receiver one. And unfortunately for us, he was our wide receiver one. And that's not a knock on him. Just put him in his natural role. I think if he's a real number two somewhere where the ball is being distributed, I think he'll be fine. Like if he went to a Tampa Bay, he'd probably be fine there. If he went to what's another good spot for him? I mean, there's a couple spots probably good for Slayton. Actually, now that I think about it, but Tampa Bay seems like a good spot for him too. The Texans, the Green Bay Packers with all the injuries that they're dealing with, that'd be a good spot for Slayton too. He could probably fit right in over there. My man American Cheese says, "What's up, Dash? Do you think the Giants view Hunter as a wide receiver only? Absolutely not. I think the NFL as a whole thinks that Travis Hunter is a cornerback first. I think and he's a good wide receiver too. Listen, I'm not going to try to downplay it at all. He's probably the best player that we've seen coming out that plays both ways. Probably the best we've ever seen. That really played it to this level. Like the amount of snaps he had at Colorado is ridiculous. But I think he's a cornerback first, and then you bring him in as a wide receiver. It just depends on the need too, because if he's playing cornerback, and then all of a sudden you have these packages for Travis Hunter. Now you can run him as a decoy, that might work, but people are going to be focusing on him if you bring him in, for offense. And that actually might be a good thing, because I'm just thinking about it now. We get Travis Hunter, he's playing defense. We got our offense kicking, a little bit, and then we bring in Hunter. Does that really pull attention away from Malik Neighbors? Or you might be stressing out that defensive coordinator. They got to deal with Malik Neighbors on one side and Travis Hunter on the other. That's a good way to split these safeties up for sure. And then you can take the tight end up the seam if you do something like that. But, we'll leave that alone for right now. Koof man, he says, if the Giants get and start a rookie quarterback, then they should try to find a veteran receiver to help out. But Diggs can both help and hurt because he's definitely a big personality. That's a fact. That is a fact, man. You got to know what you're doing when you bring in somebody like Diggs. You got to have somebody that's sure of himself. You got to have a quarterback that is sure of himself. Like they brought him in, Josh Allen. He got, him and Josh Allen got into it a little bit. Nothing crazy, but they got into it a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's Josh Allen. So imagine a Shador or a Cam Ward trying to have to deal with Diggs and Malik Neighbors. Now, Neighbors is enough to deal with right now. You know what? You guys are convinced. I'm probably staying away from Stephon Diggs. Probably going to do that. Probably going to stay away from him. Now, if we get him, it is what it is. But probably going to stay away from him. Shamar says, Hyde never got enough reps to rep. But then again, it is the NFL. But let's give him a fair shake. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. No, you got to give him a fair shake, man. I'll say that, and we saw it too. His rookie year didn't have the best numbers, but it was better than what he did his sophomore season. And then when you target him, he's pretty good. We saw him make plays with Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, and Tommy DeVito. I remember the Green Bay game. I remember the Patriots game. I remember those games. He can play. There's just no focus when he was the focus. Like for instance, the Carolina game where Slayton was out with the concussion. We had to focus on, well, he got way more reps, and you saw him have his best game when we were forced to play him. Like, come on, man, what are we doing? You can, like Brian Deb, you get paid to do this. You need to figure out Hyatt. Hyatt, is he a route god? Absolutely not. But his skill set is high level though of what he can do. And I don't want to cap him either, man. I don't want to cap him. Atlantic Lion says Leak Diggs and Shador will be partying on yachts every week. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. That might be a little bit too much flash, right? It might be too much flash. You get Shador and Leak are enough for me right now. If that happens, that's enough star power for me right now. Just give me all hard hat guys after that. Give me the lunch pail game. If you got Shador Sanders and Malik Neighbors on the offense, give me everybody else is a lunch pail guy. Everybody else is a lunch pail guy. I don't want to know anybody else's name probably. I do need another running back though. That's for sure. I do need another running back. Oh, I got a question. I got a question for you guys. I absolutely got a question. So we've been talking about a lot of players, fifth-year options not being picked up and stuff like that. Most likely, Kayvon doesn't get his fifth-year option picked up. Would you guys be willing to trade Kayvon if it helps you to move up in the draft? If you just need more draft picks, are you guys willing to trade Kayvon? Or do you want to keep Kayvon and continue to see if he can develop and be the person that we actually? I'm not going to say Kayvon doesn't suck at all. You know, he's solid, but he's not who we thought he was going to be. He is not the 5th overall pick that we thought he was going to be. Let's be honest. Let's be real. That's not even being disrespectful. I'm just saying that. But would you guys trade him for extra picks? I'm curious. I already got one answer. Oh wow, answers to come trade him. Definitely not. Oh, he said, oh, definitely not. Hyatt is not open. You got jokes. You got jokes. Man, Pablo says trading. Yes to trading. Okay. If we resign Aziz, you'll trade him if we resign Aziz. Okay. I meant KT. I know what you meant. Pablo, I know what you meant. Okay. Now I'm with it, man. I'm with it. Because again, we already know when it comes to Kayvon Thibodeau, he's about his money. He's not the happiest. He's not, with his performance. He knows, like, we don't need to be hard on Kayvon Thibodeau because he's already hard enough on himself. But I'm just saying, when it comes to being on the field, we're not getting what we thought we was going to get out of Kayvon. I thought he showed flashes, he showed glimpses and stuff like that. But when you compare him to other guys from his draft class, when you compare him to like an Aiden Hutchinson, it's not even close. I expected him to be a game wrecker. He's not a game wrecker. He's a solid player, but he's not a game wrecker. And what his price tag is going to be to try to get him re-signed, I think you trade him so you can get whatever you can get for him. Because I think you could probably get a third rounder for Kayvon Thibodeau right now. I think you can. You're not going to get a first rounder. You're not going. Well, you're definitely not going to get a first rounder. I'm going to say that. Definitely not going to get a first rounder, but I can see you getting a third rounder for Kayvon, maybe a fourth rounder for Kayvon. We'll see. Depending on what happens. Now, if you give him the 5th-year option and decide to trade him, probably can get a little bit higher of a pick, possibly. But yeah, I mean, I'm just throwing some ideas out there because we really need to build this team up, man. We need to build the trenches up first of all. Dexter Lawrence, my man said it earlier. Dexter Lawrence absolutely needs some help, and I think that's where we need to play that. Our focus on that. Let's see. Atlantic Lion says on paper KT is a good rusher, but I'm going to pay him the money he wants. But you said you're not going to pay him? Oh, so okay. No, on paper KT is a good rusher, but I'm assuming you're not going to pay him the money he wants. I believe that's what you meant there. You're not going to pay him. No, I didn't skip. You said, oh, don't skip my. What did you say about Hyatt too? You said something else. You said something about Hyatt. What did you say about Hyatt? Oh, here we go. He says, and Dash, I love you, bro, but the only reason you like Hyatt is because he comes cheap and you still have all that Hyatt merchandise sitting on the shelf. Like, listen. I'm not giving the hats got nothing to do with it. The hats was a statement because I strongly believe that Hyatt is better than we think he is. Better than think. I'm mad you trying to put me on the spot. Nah, I hear you. I hear you. Nah, but the hats ain't for that. You see, magically the hat has disappeared. Y'all, you see that, right? I'll wait not preseason. I'll wait to training camp to bring the hat back out. It's on another shelf. It ain't on this shelf. It's on another shelf. I'll bring that back out a little bit later. I need him to do something, man. I've been showing him all this faith. I've been showing him all this faith. I need them to do something though. Hats is gone. So the hats is gone right now, man. You can still order one. You can absolutely still order them, but it's not making the top shelf though. It's not making the top shelf. All right, Thunder. I see how you want to play. KC legit says part of me wants to trade everybody, but the other part wants to hold on to the talent that we have in hopes that we can grow into something. I understand. Listen, there's a couple players that are absolutely off limits to me. Dexter Lawrence is one of them. Of course, Malik Neighbors is the other. I used to feel the same way about Andrew Thomas, but Andrew Thomas can't stay healthy. But also Andrew Thomas, even though he can't stay healthy, he's still our best offensive lineman. But two guys that I would not trade under any conditions right now, that's Dexter Lawrence and Malik Neighbors. Everybody else, I will pick up the phone. I will pick up the phone for sure to listen to offers for anybody else. Let's see. Fighters Destiny said you mailed that hat to Kafka, didn't you? If Kafka was calling the plays, maybe Hyatt would get the ball more, man. Maybe I should send Kafka that hat. That's if Kafka even stays, man. If Kafka gets a job, Kafka's out of here. Like, I think that what's the only job that's left is the Saints. Kafka interviewed. Well, I think he had 2 interviews, one virtual, and then he had one in-person interview, if I'm not mistaken. I know it got delayed, but I think it had to happen by now. But guess what? If Kafka gets hired by the Saints for a head coaching job, we get compensatory picks for that. We will get 2 third-rounders because Kafka is considered a minority hire. I think his grandparents are Puerto Rican, which I didn't even know. And maybe you guys didn't know that, but that's a fact. You can Google it. you can Google it. Oh, man. Thunder said we should have traded Dex this year when he was healthy for 2 first round. Nah, you don't give up Dex. You give up Dex to do what? Try to find another Dex? Ain't too many Dexes out there. Ain't too many. Koofman says, honestly, Hyde is too frail. If he goes across the middle of the field, he's going to get blown up and constantly injured. Listen, but here's the thing. He stayed healthy in college for the most part. He was healthy with us. Well, he's not getting the ball, but you're absolutely right. He does have a frail build. But I don't think he's not. You're not really sending Hyde across the field that many times. You know what I mean? Maybe a deep crossing route, but he's not. He's not crossing in front of linebackers or anything like that. I think he'll be all right. We'll see what happens, though, man. I still, like I said, I didn't throw the hats away. I still got the hat. I just need to see something before I throw that hat back on. I thought about wearing that hat tonight too. I saw it. I said, I ain't got to do it, and I'm glad I didn't because you guys would have had a field day. That's a fact. That's what I'm saying. We get a compensatory pick if he gets hired. Yep. And again, Puerto Rican. Who knew? Who knew Kafka came from Puerto Rican descent? I didn't know. He don't look Puerto Rican to me. Or he don't look like any Puerto Rican I've seen on the East Coast, but it is what it is. Atlantic Line says, I'm Puerto Rican and I don't know about y'all, but Kafka was at a block party dancing. But yo, stop. Stop. Oh, man. But could he dance, though? Did he have it down? Like, some people can try to do it, but was he good at it? Luann says, hi, getting the ball from Sanders. Malik, too. Oh, boy, what an offense. I wasn't high on Sanders, but now I want. Oh, wait a minute. We're not just going to skip over this, Luann. What made you change your mind? I need to know. I need an explanation. I need an explanation. Shout out to my Nova Nebula in the building. He says, and he said, and hell no, they should never trade Dexter. That's where I'm at, man. That's him and Malik Neighbors off limits. I'm not answering the phone for those two. I will pick up the phone for Andrew Thomas, though. but we would have to replace Andrew Thomas right away. And you know what? Even that sounds crazy too, because we don't have the best of luck picking or signing offensive linemen. But we'll see what happens this year. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm Boricua too. All right. Shout out to Capital Abuela. He said, hopefully he gets hired. We need them. We do need them picks. We do need them picks. Shout out to the Abuelas out there. Abuelitas out there. I learned that one from my wife. He said he's a diluted Puerto Rican. Come on, man. If he gets us 3 picks, I don't care if he's a 7th Puerto Rican. I don't care. Knicks is winning right now. Shout out to the Knicks. Before I started the stream, I was actually watching the Lakers game with my oldest son, the Lakers and the Warriors game. Before I started this stream. Smokey the Bear says, hell no, we're not getting rid of Thomas. That's actually crazy. Yes, he gets injured. Or yes, I get the injuries, but who don't get injured in a contact. Now that's a fact, but listen, season-ending injuries. Listen, it makes me upset. Like Andrew Thomas goes down, and you know it's going to be 3, 4, 5 games. Like next year, next season, for instance, if I told you if I said Smokey, Andrew Thomas is probably going to miss like 7 games next year, would you be surprised? You wouldn't be surprised. Now I understand he's the best guy that we have on the offensive line, but he's injured all the time. That's what's crazy when when Joe Shane signed him, it was a team-friendly deal. He got what, 5-year deal. The money was reasonable. And then you start to think about it now, like maybe he knows about he knows he has, issues with injuries. Let me go ahead and get this guaranteed money for 5 seasons. Not saying that he's trying to shaft the Giants or anything like that. I'm just saying he secured the bag and didn't put up too much fuss. Probably because he knows he's dealing with these injuries. I'm hoping that he plays the whole season, though. If he plays the whole season, that just helps out the New York Giants all the way. Atlantic Lion says, I like the signing of Illuminor and Runyon, though. Yeah, I don't mean to bag. I don't mean to bag on that. Joe Shane got a lot of things right this offseason. I'm just saying altogether for like the past 12 years with us either drafting offensive linemen or either signing offensive linemen, not just this regime. It's been bad. It's been a struggle, man. It's been a struggle. He said, shout out to Kafka. So now that you know the Kafka is Puerto Rican, to shout out to Kafka now. Kafka won us. Oh, man. You guys are hilarious. Shout out to Kafka. Luann says, Dave will spend a lot of time with Sanders. He did. I saw the clips today. They got the handshake on camera. They had the joint meetings for the Shrine Bowl. You saw he was talking to the Giants then. A lot of people put out those reports. And everybody's saying that the New York Giants are high on Shedeur Sanders. I don't blame them. Giants need a quarterback. He's one of the top prospects. I'll be all over him too. Pause. Nova never says laughing. He said, let him be diluted. I'll take the picks regardless. That's a fact. That's a fact. He says, I'm full on Afro-Rican. My grandpops comes from African descent. Both his parents had froze and dark skin. All right. Said injuries, liabilities, high premiums. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Let's see what I missed. I missed this one from Koofman. Shout out to Koofman with the $5 super chat. He says, so keep it on defense. No, I did talk about that already. I thought I missed that, Koofman. My bad. I thought I missed it. I didn't miss it though. I'm on point right now. My man Smokey the Bear says, but why is he getting injured? Maybe he's being double teamed on the field, taking on double teams, etc. Thomas is a fan favorite at Big Blue. I know Barkley was too, but obviously Sleepy Joe ain't want to pay. Yeah, I mean, listen. When it comes to Saquon Barkley, that's spilled milk, man. It's spilled milk. It is what it is. Shout out to Saquon Barkley for hitting the 2,000 mark. Shout out to him. I hope he does not have success with the Eagles. Outside of that, fantastic for the individual stats. I don't need the Philadelphia Eagles winning nothing though. I don't need the Philadelphia Eagles winning something. Call me a hater all you. I absolutely do hate the Philadelphia Eagles. I own that for sure. For sure. Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier. Luann said, I hope hopefully Buffalo and Washington. That's what we were saying. A lot of people had Washington and Buffalo for the Super Bowl. It's a rematch too. Yeah, I'm with it. Nova says I'm still praying for Cam Ward though. A lot of people are like what was it? Kid Blue. Kid Blue is a big Cam Ward fan. My man Marshall Green over at the Giants chat. He's another big Cam Ward fan. I'm trying to think. Diggy. I don't know if Diggy's a Cam Ward guy or a Diggy 546. I think he likes them both too. But it's a couple of guys that like Ward. Like you're not alone. Like a lot of people like Ward over Sanders. Again, I got him 1A, 1B. I wouldn't be mad with either one of them at all. Not mad at either one of them. Yeah, I hate him though. Ghost Dog, I hate him. I hate Philadelphia. I hate it. I hate him with a passion, man. Like a lot of people are surprised at me. They're like, you really hate Philly more than Dallas? I'm like, yes, absolutely. It's not even a question who I hate more. It's not close. And I hate Dallas too, but it's not close when it comes to my hatred for the Philadelphia Eagles, for that franchise. No. I hate them, man. I hate them. Thunderdun said, I hope they're both good because they're going to be scrutinized. Oh, absolutely. It's that you can see it already now. Again, I'm fighting with people daily when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. It's crazy too. Like I fight for Shedeur Sanders like he's my own kid. I'm defending him. I'm putting clips together. I'm putting posts together. People talking about he got a weak arm. I'm throwing cut ups. I'm putting all this stuff on Twitter. I don't do that normally. But nah, man, I can't do it. I can't sit back and have somebody say, yeah, you know what? It's only because his father. No, his father's not out there throwing the ball. That's Shedeur out there. Shedeur's out there throwing the passes. That is 100% what's going on. Ghost Dog said the fans is way out of pocket off that one Super Bowl win. That's a fact. That's why they can't get another one. Could you imagine if the Philadelphia Eagles? Now imagine this, Ghost Dog. The Philadelphia Eagles make it to the Super Bowl. The Philadelphia Eagles beat, let's just say, the Bills in the Super Bowl, but also Saquon Barkley gets Super Bowl MVP. Are you kidding me? No, sir. We wouldn't be able to go anywhere without hearing the Eagles fans talking. I would hear it in my sleep. I couldn't do it, man. Oh, boy. Not you, too. Okay, you're joking. I thought you were serious for a second, Thunder. I was about to say, not you too, man. The haters getting wild. That's a fact. That's a fact. Jeffrey's with me. Jeffrey says, exactly. I hate Philly. I hate the city. I hate the fans. I hate the team. I hate Philly. Yeah, man. I think I've been to Philadelphia in my life. I've probably been to Philadelphia 3 times. 3 times. And I was a teenager. Yeah, I was a teenager. Yeah, still a teenager. That's a fact. And I didn't get a cheesesteak when I was out there either. I don't like them. I mean, I like cheesesteak. I don't like Philly. Oh, what is it? He says, Philly, the only team from the NFC East not to beat Buffalo in the Super Bowl. It's their time. Sorry for the NYG law. Hey, man, listen. I can't have it, man. I can't have it. I can't have it. You know, the guys are unbearable. Unbearable. But that is a known fact, though. That is a known fact. Buffalo lost to all of us, except for Philly. Philly didn't get a chance to play him. That's a fact. Chopped cheese greater than cheesesteaks every week. That's a fact. Listen, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Before the chopped cheese, there was it might just be a Jersey thing, I guess. Italian cheeseburgers, Italian cheesesteaks. I know you guys got to remember that. That's when they put the fries on the sandwich. Like it's been I ain't been to Jersey in a while. But when I was still living in Jersey, like full time living in Jersey, I don't remember chopped cheeses. Like we talking years though. We talking years. But an Italian hamburger, well, Italian cheeseburger, Italian cheesesteak, yeah. From the chicken shacks, yeah. Italian hot Ghost. Where you from, Ghost? Italian hot dogs with the potatoes on it, the Jimmy Buffs. What we talking about? What we talking about? Yeah, yeah. For those that don't know, with the double hot dog, pause, not the glizzy, the double hot dog, pause. Yeah, yeah. That's hilarious, man. Yeah, Jersey fried. No, that's a fact. Let me listen. Living life dangerously going to the like. I don't know. Like I said, I've been going for a while. I've been on the West Coast for a while now. But late '90s, early 2000s, chicken shacks, late night New Jersey, dangerous. Dangerous. All I can say is dangerous. You had to be really risk your life for that Italian cheeseburger late night, messing around, especially especially at Jersey Fried. What? I don't miss that. Al says late to the show. Sorry if I missed it, but Dash, what are your thoughts on how Shador handled himself in interviews tonight? And you think Giants are higher on him than Cam? I'll answer the last question first. I do believe that the New York Giants are higher on Shador than Cam. I did not see the interviews that you're talking about, though. When did the interviews drop? Because I downloaded the Lights Out Sports app too to try to get the live practices of the Shrine Bowl, but I have not seen the interviews yet. So that's something I will look for after this live. Hopefully they got them up on YouTube, but I haven't seen the interviews yet. But he also always handles himself pretty well. The one knock they ever had on Shador Sanders was when they said he threw his offensive line under the bus. Outside of that, he is coach. He is ready for it, man. He's ready for the media. You know, the tough New York media that they say. He's ready. Listen, Skate 22, bro. Skate 22. For those that know. If you know, you know. Skate 20. boy. Yeah. Skate 22 was one of them too. And big bro. We came up at two different times, and it still was what it was. It still was what it was. Skate 22. And you said the Wednesday night. I remember when they wouldn't even let the kids in on a Wednesday night. I remember we had to wait till Saturday night to go to Skate 22 to let the kids, under 18 kids, do it. Truth be told, I couldn't even skate and I was at Skate 22. Could barely skate, risking my life out there in the rink. Couldn't even skate out there just for vibes. Hoping I don't fall. Walking around on the carpet. Xavier Baker says Jackson Dart QB. Okay, oh, you doing a mock or you just telling me some targets? Oh, not in this order. Okay, Jackson Dart, Maxwell, talking about Hairston from Kentucky. Savion Williams, that's the wide receiver. Andrew, safety from Texas. Walter Nolan, of course. Jonah, the tackle / guard from Arizona. I don't want to butcher the Polynesian's last name for sure. Emory Jones. And then Jarquez Hunter is another. Yeah, I like them. I also, when it comes to running backs, and shout out to New York Giants Rush. I did the show with them this week, the live show with them this week about the running backs coming out this year. So if you haven't got a chance to go over there and watch that video, check out New York Giants Rush. I did the running back special with them. We talked about a lot of these running backs. Guys that I like late. I like Raheem Sanders out of South Carolina. I like him late. I ain't got my list on me. He's a guy that I like late. I was mad that Nick Singleton went back to school at Penn State because he was a guy that I wanted to pair up with Tyrone Tracy. Taj Brooks is another player, Texas Tech, that I like. Mullings out of Michigan is another guy that I like. Big body running back that I would like to pair up with Tyrone Tracy. So no, it's a lot of running backs in this draft. We should get one of them. But to your point, you said Jackson Dart quarterback. Again, he is, in my opinion, the third quarterback. I like him over Jalen Milroe. I know it's blasphemous, me being an Alabama fan, but I just think he's a better quarterback. Now Jalen Milroe's ceiling is crazy high, but his floor is crazy low too. But yeah, I like Jackson Dart. Maxwell Harrison is probably going to move up in the ranks. He's finally healthy. We'll see him. We'll see him participate. I believe he's in the Senior Bowl. He's not in the Shrine Bowl, and then obviously the Combine. But he's finally healthy and good to go. So yeah, it's a lot of guys. I like this list. I like this list of guys that you put out there, Xavier. Shout out to you. Luann says, I think the Giants will sign a free agent quarterback and draft. Well, they have to. They have to sign at least one quarterback. Again, we don't have any quarterbacks right now. And people keep telling me Tommy DeVito, but Tommy DeVito is a restricted free agent. That's not the same thing as having a contract. So we're definitely going the free agency route too when it comes to quarterback. So, we'll get another quarterback. Okay, so it's on. Okay, well off, and that's what I was talking about earlier too. Well off media. That's Deion Sanders Jr.'s channel. Well off media. So I gotta look. I gotta tune into that. Actually, you know what? I saw the thumbnail. I just didn't have time. I didn't have time to watch it. So I did see the thumbnail, and I have it in my save for watch laters. Thank you for reminding me. Ty 2 Vibe says 100 season might be the worst season. That's a fact. That is a absolute fact. Xavier Baker says Sanders not better than Dart. He also played against better teams too. Shout out to you, Xavier Baker. I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate the generosity. I'm going to fully disagree with you. I don't think that Dart is better than Shedeur Sanders. Dart did play against a better competition, absolutely. My only knock on Dart, strong arm, very athletic, more athletic than Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, if we're being honest. Better runner of the ball, for sure. I watched a lot of Ole Miss games. That Ole Miss spread them out wide, easy route system. It's going to be a harder transition for Jackson Dart to the NFL than it is going to be for Sanders to the NFL. That's my only knock. And you can't argue the stats when it comes to Jackson Dart, the grades that he puts out. Jackson Dart is a fantastic prospect, but there is a clear reason why, because he's played a long time. He got a lot of years. Jackson Dart has a lot of years. I believe he was at USC before he even got to Ole Miss. He's played a lot. There is a reason why he's not mentioned the same way Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are mentioned. That's all I got to say about that. And it is, again, I think it has a lot to do with the type of systems that are being ran for Ole Miss. It is what it is. But again, I'm not going to knock him. If you feel like he's better than Sanders, have at it. I respect it. Thunder, which kid from Iowa are you talking about? Did I miss something? Oh, you talking about the running back. Okay. The running back from Iowa, that's Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson is nice. Like Caleb Johnson is really nice. Now, Caleb Johnson's probably the first running back if Ashton Jeanty didn't exist. But Ashton Jeanty exists, and hopefully he's not a Dallas Cowboy. Hopefully not. Nah, but yeah, Caleb Johnson is nice. He's nice. He'll be long gone before the New York Giants pick though. He probably goes in the first round. It just depends on what happens. It's like whenever that run on defensive tackles happens, probably it'll affect the next running backs coming off the board. But Caleb Johnson, yeah. A lot of those teams that are picking late. So right now, if you're looking at the last 4 teams, you got the Bills, you got the Chiefs, you got the Commanders, you got the Eagles. Eagles don't need a running back. Commanders, they compare somebody up like Caleb Johnson. They'll be picking, far enough back in the first round that they could pick up somebody like Caleb Johnson. But Caleb Johnson is nice. Kid from Iowa is nice. Can do it all too. Bigger than you think he is too. Believe he's 6'2". Yeah, I like Caleb Johnson. What if the Titans take Shedeur at 1? If the Titans take Shedeur at 1, I am praying that the Cleveland Browns take Travis Hunter. And then we get Cam Ward. Or the Cleveland Browns take Abdul Carter and we still get Cam Ward. That's like again 1A, 1B. Like Shador is number one for me. Cam Ward, I'm happy to. I'm happy to. Smokey the Bear says, big Milrow fan. If, and I repeat, if, all caps, the Giants get him and Dave's coach him up, but he can work on his arm without a doubt. Milrow is the best. You can't teach speed. I will agree with this point, Smokey, and I've said it before. In a Brian Dable offense where he likes to run the quarterback, Jalen Milrow is damn near perfect. Damn near perfect for Brian Dable in a Brian Dable. Brian Dable wants to run. You saw what he did with Josh Allen. You saw what he did with Daniel Jones. There's no other quarterback in this draft that can. Actually, Jackson Dart can run the ball too, but he don't got the same body style or body type as a Jalen Milrow. And you're really not trying to run Jackson Dart like Ole Miss ran him, in the SEC. But Jalen Milrow, yeah, he's a Dable type of guy, but not my number one, number two, and number three choice though. No, potential through the roof though. All right, let's see. Thunder says Commanders are going O-line. Nobody taking him. Oh, okay, all right. They do need to go O-line too. Like a lot of people have it confused. They think that offensive line for the Commanders is like good. It's not that good. It's just that their quarterback play is that good. Like as many times you see Jaden Daniels create with his legs after something has broken down, yeah, he's helping out that offensive line a lot, and they probably do go offensive line depending on who's on the board and who's left there. I can see like Ursary going late from the tackle from Minnesota. I can see him going there. Connerly from Oregon. That might be a guy that they look at too. But they need help all around though. Like their center, Biotic, he's older. Yeah, they might. You're absolutely right. They might go O-line. It'd be the smart thing to do for sure because they got a lot of things already in the. Well, they might be able to go linebacker too because how much longer is Bobby Wagner going to play? It is what it is. Say who's probably the fastest quarterback, and you said probably. You talking about Milrow is probably the fastest person in the draft. Period. Not just the quarterback. If that's what you're talking about, Milrow might be the fastest in the draft. That's how fast he is. There was some myth legend story about him beating. It wasn't Ruggs. Who was it? One of them other super fast wide receivers. Milrow beat him in practice in like a 40-yard dash. Now, yeah, like I don't know how true it is. I wouldn't be surprised if he ran a 4.340 though. I wouldn't be surprised at all. The question is he going to even run? Like usually quarterbacks, they're not running. Especially quarterbacks that are already known as athletes, they usually don't run the 40, especially nowadays. Like I don't expect any of these quarterbacks to run the 40, really. I can't see Ward if I'm Shador Sanders, I'm not running the 40 at all. Because we already know Shador ain't fast. Like he's quick enough to get around and to get about and create, but Shador really ain't running away from anybody. And Cam Ward can run away from anybody, but Cam Ward's not even like a 4. Cam Ward's probably like a 4.7 guy. Maybe a 4.68, 4, yeah, about a 4.7 guy. Shador's probably like a 4.8. Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes ran like a 4.8 40. And you see him in the game, he can still get away from people. Maybe it's just the adrenaline. But I remember when Patrick Mahomes ran his 40, it was like 4.8. And it wasn't even like a low 4.8. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, Patrick Mahomes might have ran like a 4.8 9.40. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, man. I don't have time to Google it, but you asking me Worthy or Bond? I like Worthy more. Bond is good too. Bond is fast. I don't think he's Worthy fast though. But Bond is fast. Said Milrow too darn inconsistent. Yeah, that's a fact. Some games, Some games he does well. Some games you're like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Why would you make that throw? Like, yeah, Milrow throws some of the worst interceptions, like the worst in the worst times. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Inconsistent is very true. Tied to vibe. I like this right here. I like this. You think Dable gonna give up play calling? I think Dable has to give up play calling. I think it has to happen. Um, I think John Mara mentioned it in the exit meetings. I think Brian Dable needs to focus on the entire team, like the entire team. He can't like. I hated this season. Like the offense will come off the field, and Brian Dable's on the sideline coaching up the offense. Meanwhile, his defense is on the field, and the head coach is not even knowing what's going on. I absolutely hated that. If you either trust Kafka or you don't, and if you don't trust Kafka, get somebody in here that you trust. But I can't have Brian Dable doing what he did last year this upcoming season. I can't have it. I can't have it, and it shouldn't happen. Who you calling Jameis Winston 2.0, Thunder? You calling Milrow that? Milrow was nowhere near the quarterback that Jameis Winston was or is, as far as quarterbacking go. Let me know what you mean. Who you calling Jameis Winston Part 2 or 2.0? Do you do your research on KJ Jefferson? What school did he end up going to? Because KJ Jefferson was he at Arkansas? Arkansas, and then he went to Florida. It was the UC. Where did he end up going? You tell me where he went, because I know he was at Arkansas, and then he went somewhere else. I think it was one of them Florida schools, and then he disappeared. And not really disappeared, but you know what it is. KJ Jefferson, what, 6'4", 6'3", 250 pounds, big prospect for sure. UCF, thank you. That's where he went. The thing about KJ Jefferson, I don't know what he did this year. I didn't follow him once he went to UCSF, so I don't know what his grades are. But there was a point in time where he was getting looks at Arkansas. I think it was Arkansas he was at first. But he's a big quarterback, man. He is huge. Pause. But yeah, he kind of like disappeared and fell off of my radar. So you let me know. Did he ball at UCF? Let me know if he balled out there. Because I remember like he kind of like disappeared, and then I forgot about him. Then you just mentioned him. I'm like, oh yeah. He said no clue either. Oh, he said you were talking about. Oh, you are nah. Jameis Winston and Milrow, they're not the same. They're not the same. They're not the same. I can't do that one, Thunder. I can't do that one. Milrow, you know what's crazy? Milrow was like Anthony Richardson, in my opinion. Like Anthony Richardson. Fast, big, even though Anthony Richardson was taller. Fast, big, strong arm, not really accurate. Can make plays with his legs. That's the 2.0. That's so yeah. Jalen Milrow is like Anthony Richardson 2.0. I would say that more than a Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston at Florida, like people forget how good Jameis Winston was at Florida State. Jameis Winston was good at Florida State. Tatu Vibe says, if he gives up play calling, does it really matter if the quarterback is a that's a good question. Does it? It shouldn't. Hopefully. I keep seeing people say Ward more of a Dable quarterback, but if he's not calling the plays, that don't matter. Listen, Ty, I'm with you. 100%. I'm with you. Listen, I it's funny too, because I had in the spaces earlier today, I said if we get Ward or if we get Sanders, Brian Dable can't run that same offense that he ran with Josh Allen or with Daniel Jones. You can't run. Those are not the same type of quarterbacks. You don't run QB power with Shedeur Sanders, of course, and you don't run it with Cam Ward. He would have to switch up his whole offense, but you made a perfect point. If Dable's not the offensive coordinator, if he's not the one calling the plays, you are absolutely right. It shouldn't even matter. It shouldn't even matter. Thank you. Thunder said, I like big QBs that can move. I think everybody like a quarterback to be mobile. Absolutely. Absolutely. No argument here. Okay. So he said yes, he was at Arkansas, but he but he started out balling out. Then his season turned for bad. His coach is a high school coach, not for college. Oh wow. So he just went too awful. He made an awful decision. Was he forced out of Arkansas? If you do know that information or not, was he forced into the portal? Did what happened when? Because he's an older guy too. He's been around for a while, if I'm not mistaken. Jefferson been out for a while. But he is in this draft. I think he doesn't have any eligibility left. I don't think. Atlantic Lion says, God willing, if Kafka goes, who do we look at to fill the void? One of Dable's goons gets promoted. Probably. Either that happens or they make the phone call to what's the kid guy's name, Ken Dorsey, and I don't want that happening either. Ken Dorsey has been fired twice. He got fired in Buffalo after he took over for OC when Brian Dable left, and then he was just where was he just at? Where was Dorsey? Was just somewhere and got fired. Where was Dorsey just? Well, anyway, he just got fired again. Where was he at? Cleveland? Ken Dorsey. Damn. Well, it don't matter. He got fired. He got fired twice, and Dorsey is famous for the camera footage when they see the offensive coordinator for the Bills going crazy, slapping the desk. That's Ken Dorsey for anybody. If anybody remembers that clip, he went absolutely crazy after a bad play, and he was slapping the table, throwing the throwing the play cards and all other stuff. That's Ken Dorsey. That's that guy. He has a strong arm. Yeah, he does have a strong arm, but he's not too accurate talking about Milrow. Okay, I can agree. I was looking at it differently, not such a skill set. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Slowick just get it right. Slowick just didn't leave the Texans. Slowick got fired. And that's crazy too, because he was at the top of the list for head coaching jobs last year and decided to stay with the Texans. And a lot of people wanted Bobby Slowick. And then a year later, CJ Stroud doesn't have the best sophomore season. Not a bad sophomore season, but not that they still made it to the playoffs. But Slowick is gone. I'm curious to see who takes his spot. I wonder if they already promoted somebody. Another team that got gutted was the Lions. Like Dan Campbell is sitting there by himself right now. Aaron Glenn goes to the Jets. When Aaron Glenn went to the Jets, and then Ben Johnson went to the Lions, and then they lost what's his name, Randall L. And then they lost somebody else too. Yeah, they got gutted, man. The guys left to go to the Bears. Guys left to go to the Jets with Aaron Glenn, and I believe they just promoted Kelvin Shepard as the new DC for the Lions. So yeah, they got gutted. So, oh wow, so he just didn't have any luck. He just didn't have any luck. You know what? Him and the kid from Houston too. What's the quarterback from Houston's name? He was another guy, same type of build, 6'4", 240, 250, in that range. Just a couple of gems. The kid from Virginia Tech is another one. Drones, he's another one. UDFA, these guys that get picked up, they'll probably get a tryout or something like that. But I don't think Jefferson's getting drafted. I don't think he gets drafted, but he's definitely probably going to get a tryout somewhere though. Because again, you're talking about a 6'4", 250-pound quarterback that can move a little bit. He might. I know he was looking a little thick though. Pause. He got a little chubby when last time I saw him. Said draft Cam Ward to bring the Miami OC up. I forget that guy's name. Somebody else floated out that rumor. It was that Miami booster guy that said something like Cam Ward would be a New York Giant and they're going to bring the OC with him. I saw that. We'll see what happens, man. I missed one. Pause, man. I missed one. Little bit sticky as that, but my bad, bro. Pause. I'm usually pretty good at catching them. Pause. I'm gonna stop talking. Give myself a 5-second timeout for the pauses. Okay, I think I'm good now. Yeah, Ben Johnson went to Chicago. That's a fact. God willing, if Catholic goes, who do we look at to fill the void? I don't know. Oh man, but we had. Oh wow, we way over time now. So all right, so now we're gonna do this, man. So we coming up, we're gonna wrap this thing up. We're gonna talk about predictions, man. Predictions for tomorrow's game. This whole show was supposed to be talking about the conference championships. The conference championships, and we talked about it a little bit, but I want to get some production predictions first. So first, I'm gonna say the Eagles Commanders game. Let me get some of your predictions, and then I'll give mine as well. What you confused about? He said I'm confused because of the pauses. I had to pause, man. It was listen. It's an East Coast thing for sure. When you got to pause something, and that's what you're talking about. When you say something that's a little bit crazy, oh, you got to pause it. So a little bit sticky pause was pause worthy for sure. Okay, so we're going to hold Jackson Dart down because he played in the offense that helped QB's Jackson. Nah, I'm not holding it against him. I was just trying to make a comparison of why you don't see him mentioned with Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. That was it. I'm not holding that against him. Just like I didn't hold Hendon Hooker. I didn't hold Hendon Hooker's offense against him. That Tennessee offense is crazy too, and you see, it didn't translate with the Lions. He's still a work in progress. So yeah, I'm not trying to hold him down at all. One thing I'm not going to do is knock somebody down to raise somebody else up. I'm not going to do that again. And I told you I like Jackson Dart. So hopefully I didn't give you that impression. I'm just giving you my opinion. It's like for me, I don't think he's better. But like I said, I'm not going to tell you to change your mind, nothing like that. Let's see. He said never Eagles. Mo says Skins win. Commanders beat the Eagles. Y'all ain't give me no scores though, man. Give me a. Oh, there you go. Somebody followed directions. 31-20 Eagles. Reality was set in tomorrow. Cinderella ends now. There you have it. There you have it. Barkley 175 yards tomorrow. You might as well just go ahead and give him the 200, man. Just go ahead and give him the 200 if you give him 175. Give him the 200. Luann says, Dash, do you think Slayton is coming back? Luann, you are always in caps, all caps. Like I feel like you're yelling at me sometimes. But nah, I'm joking with you. Dash, do you think Slayton come back? If it's up to Slayton, I think Slayton would like to come back. It depends on the money if Joe Shane wants to bring him back. But ultimately, for me, I wouldn't mind having Slayton back. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we already know. We know he's an Eagles fan. He snuck in. He snuck into the party. It's all right. I'm rocking with him. So is it Joe Quinn or is it Joaquin? Mr. Williams, Mr. Eagles fan. Thunder, you too, huh? Barkley, we get 300 yards tomorrow, and they still losing. I was joking with you, Lou. I was joking with you. You can put it in all caps. You can put it in all caps. He said, "No, Barkley gonna save the rest. Save the rest for the Super Bowl. He getting the MVP. I know it's your worst nightmare. Listen, and again, it's nothing personal when it comes to Saquon Barkley. Nothing personal at all. It's all business. When I say I hate the Philadelphia Eagles, it's all business. It's business hate. It's business hate. I can't stand y'all, man. And if y'all win another Super Bowl, you already know what it is. I don't even got to tell you. You know what it is. You already know what it is, bro. You know what it is." I got you, Joaquin. I thought so. Okay, I got you. I just want to make sure I pronounce it correctly, man. Show you that respect of pronouncing your name right. I take that for real. Pause. Mr. President says Slayton's the litmus test for how bad Shane has effed up. That's one way to look at it too. That's one way to. Baghdad, what's going on, Baghdad? You been listening and hiding in the comments or what? Shout out to Baghdad in the building. He says Commanders and Bills for the Super Bowl, please. I knew I liked you, Baghdad. I knew I did. That's what I want to see too. That's what I want to see. I can't mess with these Eagles. I understand why you hate them. I'm not that type of fan. Nah, that's a fact. Listen, I go back and forth. Like I said, you are an Eagles fan. You see, I'm not being disrespectful. It's all fun and games and jokes and stuff like that. It is what it is. I keep it respectful. I still hate y'all though. I still hate y'all. Just I keep it respectful hate. If that's something that's even real. Luann says I want Buffalo to win it all. Yeah, yeah, I'm right there with you. Thunder said, Joaquin, come join the Big Blue. I like you. I just hate the Eagles. Oh, he said, I want to see the whole division shine. You know what's crazy about that? You know what's crazy about? I'll say this. I will say this. If everybody in the division was good, listen, this is just a lot of animosity built up for me. We've been bad for a long time. We've been losing to y'all for a long time. Like when we won that game last year at the end of the season, I took a little bit of joy in that, but it wasn't like real joy because I knew it was fluky. I knew what it was. I can't wait to get this quarterback and be able to really compete in this division. Then it might really get a little bit sticky. Pause. It might get sticky then. Pause. Luann says Stephon Diggs, Slayton Wandell, Malik Hyatt, and Theo Johnson. It might look. Listen, we already had this discussion with Diggs. We're gonna pump the brakes on Stephon Diggs right now. Just a little bit. We already got to figure out what we have in Malik Neighbors. Like he's a fantastic player, but as far as a locker room presence, we gotta figure out what we got to do with him to make sure everything's right. So bringing in Stephon Diggs, I'm pumping the brakes on that right now. Pumping the brakes. If I can get now, Luann, to your point, you said if we are able to get a quarterback in free agency. So if we were able to get somebody like a Jameis Winston here as the bridge or as that veteran quarterback to be the presence in the locker room, for the younger quarterback, I do think that Jameis Winston has a type of personality that can talk to Stephon Diggs. He can talk to Malik Neighbors and try to not keep them in line, but keep them on the right path, to say the least. You would think that, MKM. Next season, our Giants record should be 15-2. If the regime is in their fourth year, you should be at least competing in the division in your fourth year of your rebuild. That's one of the problems I have with this regime is that we're going into year 4 of this regime, and I feel like we're starting from scratch. I got a problem with that. But anybody else in any other team in a regular rebuild, usually by the time that regime's in year 4, you know exactly what that team is. And unfortunately, I feel like I don't know who the New York Giants are yet. That's how I feel right now. That's a fact. You're not going to get any arguments here. Just like that. I need the Giants on the logo for sure. I mean, on the helmet for sure. For sure. Oh, if y'all get KJ Jefferson, we all will be. Listen, I'm gonna ask you this question, man. By chance, are you related to KJ Jefferson? But let me know if that's family. But you also, guess what though? You don't really got a backup quarterback neither. Maybe you guys can get KJ Jefferson. You know what? I'm going to look at a couple UCF games tonight just because of you, bro. Just because of you. I got to see what this guy was doing. I know you said he had the issue with the offensive coordinators, but I got to look up. Maybe I look at some old Arkansas tape of KJ Jefferson. But I'm going to do that just because you've been bringing him up. Nova Nebula, for me, if Jeffrey Simmons was ever being shopped, yeah, that's a fact. He would be perfect. In Shane Bowen's scheme, put him next to Dexter Lawrence, Jeffrey Simmons. That's what we're missing. We're like Shane Bowen came over here. They talked about his stats having one of the number one rushing defenses or run defenses in the league. But guess what? You come here and you don't have none of those players or none of those style of players here, and we still can't stop the run. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, man. Because we run him in. Let's get a prediction of the Bills and Chiefs game. Give me some scores. Let me know who you got winning that game, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up, man. We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up. Baghdad says, I like Slayton, but as a fan, we got to stop being scared of change. If we can upgrade, go for it. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Oh, so that's not your family. All right, that's a fact. Nah, I'm messing with you, man. I'm gonna check out KJ Jefferson though. That's what we want. That's the goal right there. Luann says, Dash, I want to be that team that's in the playoffs every damn year. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's what I want too. That's what I want. I want to be Philly. As far as getting to the playoffs every year. Dallas had a down year, but I want to be like Dallas and be in the playoffs every year. I don't want to be one and done like Dallas all the time. But you know what I mean. I want to be a contender for sure. And this division is not getting any easier. Like the NFC East is actually getting harder. Pause. Dallas had a down year. They got this issue. They just paid Dak Prescott. We don't know what's going on with Dak Prescott. But when you look at Philadelphia and when you look at the Commanders now, they got franchise quarterbacks, like legitimate franchise quarterbacks. I'm about to piss Joaquin off. Jane Daniels, to me, already is better than Jalen Hurts. Like, especially this season, this year's stats, and as far as importance to a team, Jane Daniels' trajectory is crazy right now. It is what it is, but they both in better situations than the New York Giants. Okay, I see 31-20 Chiefs for Thunder. Luann got 28-24 Bills. Said Bills no three-peats. That's a fact. Thunder says Washington 35, Philly 28. Lewis, I sure missed that 2007, 2008. Yeah, that was a tough team right there. What's going on, TD Midas? TD Midas. It says just get Sanders and the fan base will be happy in 2 years. I hope so. I hope so, man. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm hoping for. Like my man said earlier, Shedeur Sanders is the Giants quarterback till he ain't. Till somebody else turn in that card or we don't pick him, Shedeur Sanders is our quarterback, or is my quarterback, I should say. Of course I did. Said, Dash, please tell me you seen that Cam and Sanders video. Of course I did. I put up some clips on Twitter. Yes, I did. I might have watched that thing. It might have been like 11:30 at night when I was watching it. But yes, I absolutely saw it. It was hilarious. I like the relationship between both of those guys. Super competitive, trash talking through the roof. And both of those guys really do believe that they're better than the other. Without a doubt. I like the confidence that these kids have. You're gonna need it wherever they go. No, that's a fact. Thunder says we've been rebuilding since 2013. That is a fact, and unfortunately, that just sad, just absolutely sad. Emoji says it all. Washington 34, Eagles 28, Bills 34, Chiefs 28. Chase says we need a strong arm in Jersey. Trust us, not Colorado. A lot of people keep saying that too, man, talking about Shedeur Sanders. He got plenty enough arm to make the throws, man. Does he have as much zip as Cam Ward? No, but he has plenty enough arm to make all the throws, for sure. We've seen Tommy DeVito make throws at MetLife, and he ain't got the strongest arm neither. So I'm not worried about Shedeur Sanders' arm, and there's no question about Cam Ward's arm strength. So I think we're good either way. I was waiting for your response before I got out of here. He says, pump your brakes on Jaden Daniels. The film will be out on him just like C.J. Stroud. Jaden is a beast, but let him put a resume together first. That's a fact. The one thing I will say, though, when you watch Jaden Daniels play, it looks different. It looks different. Like, we had him dead to rights a few times. What he can do with his legs is different. It's different. And he can attack every part of the field. There's no lack in his arm strength, and then his legs are ridiculous. He does need to gain some weight and get stronger, though. He does. I'm not even going to read that comment out loud, Luann. Don't send that man this way. Pause. You think he's going to regress too? I mean, we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. Now, again, the tape is always coming out. Can he adapt to it? That's one thing I say that looks different, because the guys that he's playing with, the wide receivers that he's playing outside of Terry McLaurin, he's making these guys, man. He's making these guys. I can't wait for this game tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm going to enjoy the game, period, no matter who wins at the end of the day. I will say this, though, to you, Joaquin, since you're the only Philadelphia fan in here, respectfully, and I enjoy the back and forth. Good luck to you, sir, tomorrow. Good luck to you. I'm not rooting for you, but I will say good luck to you. All right, man, I'm going to wrap this thing up, man. Hopefully everybody had a good time. I appreciate you guys hanging out, vibing with me, man. Let me just check the super chats, make sure I didn't miss anything. I didn't. We're going to wrap this thing up. Again, hopefully everybody enjoys the time tomorrow, enjoys the games tomorrow, and then next week we'll be talking about, well, not next week because there's 2 weeks between, the playoffs and the Super Bowl, or the conference championship and Super Bowl. We're going to talk, man. I'm going to do another live. We're going to get a hangout before the Super Bowl, and we'll see what a lot of people are thinking. But I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And for one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation.